Hi, welcome back to day 2 of the Supervisory Refresher Course. If you're like our past students, you're probably a little overwhelmed right now, and that's okay. The purpose of this video is to highlight some of those key points from the Introduction and Orientation session as well as the Day 1 session. Student feedback in the past has told us that by day 2, a lot of students are overwhelmed and confused about what they're supposed to be doing. We hope to eliminate that, or at least reduce it significantly with this short tutorial. Of course, by the end of this tutorial, if you're still confused what you're supposed to be doing, please feel free to contact your instructor. I want to draw your attention to the screen over here. You'll see there's a lot of stuff going on. This is my Blackboard. If you're new to the Blackboard learning management system, this can be overwhelming, and this is the starting point. Don't get frustrated. Spend the time in this tutorial and we're going to get you through it. What I'm about to do is scroll down through the list of courses in the bottom right panel of my Blackboard page. And please keep in mind that as an instructor, I'm going to have a lot more courses available to me than what you would have as a student. What I want to do is I want to find the Supervisory Refresher Course. We're going to come down here to section 20792 and use that real-world course as an example to help show you what we expect out of you in this course. Anytime you access your class, you're going to land here in the announcements page. This is an important page like we talked about because this is where your instructor is going to post all those time-sensitive critical elements of the course along with some gee whiz information that's just nice to know. Instead of sending out emails to every student, it's just much easier to place the material here on the announcements page and let you grab what you want to access. As a reminder, the announcements page is posted in reverse chronological order, so any new posts that your instructor posts will be at the top of the page. If you're like a lot of students we've had in the past, by day 2, you've gone through the orientation and introduction session, you've sat through the long day 1 webinar and you've met your teammates, you've been given days worth of reading, and we've told you now that you have a team exercise that you have to get done. There's probably a lot of things going through your head, in addition to you having to manage the workload back at the office. Remember to use Blackboard to your advantage. Up above me is a navigation panel. It's your best friend throughout this course. It's the quick link way to get to all the material in just a few clicks. One easy way for you to understand what's expected of you is by navigating up through the navigation panel to the course information hyperlink. Remember, on this page you'll find some of the introductory videos that we've already made for you to sort of re-vector you if you feel like you just aren't getting it. In the past, students have reported that most of their confusion comes from understanding the individual responsibilities and requirements of attending the course and what they're supposed to do with a team exercise. An easy way to keep yourself on track is kind of understanding that day 1 and day 5 are dedicated to getting you into the course and out of the course. Days 2, 3, and 4 is where you're going to be doing most of your team work. That's not to say, however, that you can't start early. Past students have reported being confused about the discussion board requirements. You have individual requirements and you have a team exercise discussion board requirement. We don't want to confuse you, so what I would like to do at this point is take a couple more minutes to make sure that you clearly understand what's expected of you out of the discussion boards. Remember, if you have trouble navigating discussion boards, we have 2 associated tutorial videos right in your Blackboard page. I don't want to talk about the team exercise right now until I'm sure that you understand what the individual discussion board expectation is and how to find them and how to tell them apart from the team exercises. So for example, on this screen right over here, we've got the Building Trust and Confidence discussion board exercise. That's an individual discussion board exercise. Each day for day 2, 3, and 4, you're going to have to complete individual discussion board exercises. Remember, when you do your discussion board, you've got to reply to at least 2 classmates' posts as well. One neat little trick to understanding whether or not it's an individual discussion board question or a team exercise discussion board question is by looking at the verbiage in front of you. On this screen, you can see that there isn't a set of questions. And when we get to the team exercise discussion board, you're going to have a better understanding of what I mean by that. For the purposes of this video, let's just click into this hyperlink here to access this individual discussion board exercise. Here you see the thread for the individual discussion board exercise. Once you access the discussion board via the link on that previous page, it will take you here to the main discussion board area. The master thread is always at the top of the page. and will be posted by one of our staff members. Here you can see Miss Lillis Watson's post about sharing examples of trust in organizations, or non-examples of trust in organizations. And there are student responses underneath it. I'm not going to walk you through all of these examples and how to interface with the discussion board. Again, if you don't understand how to do that, remember, we have tutorial videos back on the landing page for how to navigate the discussion boards. Real briefly, this is where you'll find Day 3's individual discussion board exercise. It's in the coaching and mentoring area. Again, the format's exactly like what you just saw for Day 2, and it will remain constant through Day 4. And here's where you'll find Day 4's discussion board link for performance management. That pretty much wraps up where to find individual discussion boards. Now here is where the confusion typically comes in. Remember, Days 2, 3, and 4, we're also going to be asking you for team exercise discussion boards. You can find these at the bottom of each day for Days 2, 3, and 4. We haven't left Day 4 yet. You're still looking at the performance management discussion board link. But if we scroll down, we can see another green hyperlink provided to us. This link is for the team exercise discussion board, as the link indicates. You'll note that there's a series of 6 questions in the narrative underneath the hyperlink. Again, for consistency and to reduce confusion, we've kept the format the same throughout the course. Each day's team exercise discussion board links will have a series of 6 questions for you and your teammates to answer. Now here's where things can get confusing for students. You have individual discussion board questions and you have team discussion board questions. For the individual discussion board questions, you need to work on your own. You need to formulate your own answers and you need to reply to at least 2 classmates' responses. For the team exercise, there are a couple different options available to you. We talked about them a little bit yesterday, but I want to go over them real quickly to make sure that everybody understands what is expected of them. Let's click into this hyperlink as an example of what I'm talking about. To complete the daily team exercise, there's a couple options available to you. First, you can do all of your corresponding on the Blackboard discussion board threads for each day for each discussion. Or you can meet. You can do it in person if that's an option for you. You can teleconference and we provide those phone numbers to you. Or you can use some other means to get online together to meet. Many of the teams prefer to meet and we get that. It's faster, it's more efficient, and it's a lot more fun. As a matter of fact, we've had teams that have continued to meet long after the class simply because they enjoyed talking to other peers about leadership issues. If you're going to work on your team assignment in some manner other than through the discussion board posts, then you'll need to submit the report that you can find here in Day 1 curriculum area under the team assignment. Let's open that up real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. This is a template we'd like you to use throughout the week to build your team deliverable. We don't want you to recreate the wheel. What we want you to do is invest that time and energy with your classmates, talking about all the leadership issues that we're bringing to your attention, as well as anything that comes out of the conversations that you have with your peers in the classroom. That's where the real learning happens, and we want you to be able to capture that. This template will guide you through the deliverables that we want to see at the end of the week. And then use bullet points to give us your way ahead. Give us your major issues and concerns, your short-term objectives and your long-term objectives, and how you would mitigate the weaknesses and enhance the strengths of your employees. Bullet format is totally acceptable. A lot of students will ask us how long this submission is supposed to be. We highly recommend that you go no longer than a page to a page and a half. You can say everything that you need to say in that time, especially if you keep it in bullet format. Each day, the recorder for your group should upload that document into the discussion board area for your team, annotating the team number and which day of the week you're submitting the report for. If you click on the discussion board in the navigation bar, it will take you to this landing page. Simply click the discussion board link to get into the discussion boards and navigate to your appropriate team and area. When you get in the discussion board area, you're going to see our master thread for the day, and it looks like this page right here. If you're the recorder for your group, simply submit a reply like this student has here. You can see he gave us the day and the team number for the submission and simply attached his Word document. This is all we're expecting from the recorder from the group. Only the team's recorder needs to submit the daily deliverable. We don't need to see multiple copies of the same document. If your team decides to work on the team exercise through the discussion board instead of an in-person meeting through a teleconference or a video chat, then the posts you're going to see are going to look something like this. As you can see, they can get quite lengthy. If this is the only option available to you, then pursue your team exercise this way, though we do recommend trying to find a way to at least do a teleconference. So that's how you fulfill your individual and team exercise requirements for the week. If you're still confused, don't worry. Just reach out to your instructor or assistant instructor for help. So where should you be by now? You've had your introduction and orientation session, as well as your day 1 session, where you reviewed all your CPMC material and met your classmates. You should be working your way through the day 2 material by now. Don't forget, for day 2, just like tomorrow and Thursday, you're going to have individual and team discussion board exercises that you're going to need to complete. In addition, there's also an elective and the daily critique that you need to provide by the end of the day. So there's a lot of work to do. Add to that you have to get with your teammates to work on your team exercise, and you can see that this is definitely a robust course. If you get done early today, we would highly recommend that you start on your next day's readings as well. So you say, I've got that. I understand that I need to do the reading and do my critique in my elective for the day. But you keep telling me I need to work with my team. Where should our team be? Depending on your team construct and how you agreed to meet to work on this project, you should have at least read through your group of notional employees, as well as started working on some of the ideas that you had in identifying the challenges and the opportunities available to you as a supervisor. There's a myriad of tactics that students before you have employed to get the project done, and far be it for me to tell you exactly how to do it. Some students like to work on their own. Some students wait for the group to get together. Make sure that you're comfortable with your employees and some of the challenges and opportunities facing you before you meet with your team. One last bit of advice, don't wait to start working on the project. Teams have jumped into this and realized that they had a lot to talk about and a lot to work out. So delay at your own risk. And lastly, going forward, what can you expect for the rest of the week? Today you need to work through your readings for day 2 and get together with your team to start working that team exercise. In truth, you really only have 2 more days to get everything complete, with days 3 and 4 resembling day 2. Day 5, remember, is when we get together for our final webinar to discuss your team exercise deliverables. You need to be prepared to present during that class, so it would behoove you to get work done earlier rather than later. One reminder before I go. Tomorrow is Vector Check Wednesday. It's a voluntary webinar with your instructor where they share some of the trends that they've seen, and you get a chance to ask them some questions to make sure that you're on target and on task. I would highly encourage each and every one of you to take advantage of that offering. That's all I have for now. Happy supervising.